Hi, I would like to share with you the five language components known as linguistics, and they would be phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So the first one I would like to define is phonology. Phonology is the study of sound patterns that occur within language. We'll say, for example, like the English plural S, and that S could be pronounced in different ways depending on the word that it's a part of. Say, for instance, like snakes. So the S on snakes sound S. But another word, if you put that same S on another word, like bass. So bass, B-A-T-H-S, the sound of bass now is a Z. So if we switch it up and we put it on another word, let's say for instance we chose dresses. So the ES, dresses. So the S on dresses sound as is, IZ. So that's how it changes, and it depends on the word that it's a part of. The second one I would like to talk to you about is morphology. Morphology refers to the way that words are constructed, and with their stem, their prefixes, their suffixes of a word. So just say for instance, for example, the word dogs. Okay, so the stem of the root word dog, there are two morphemes. The first morpheme is dog, which is the stem of dogs, and the S is this inflectual suffix. So that's how vocabulary is extended as well when you use morphemes. And the third one I would like to talk about is syntax. And syntax is the arrangements of sentences, phrases to create well-formed sentence structure. And sometimes, depending on the position of a word, one word, it may change the complete meaning of a sentence. Like say for instance, if I say Clara loves Jesus, that's saying my affection to Jesus. But if I switch it up and I say Jesus loves Clara, so that changed the whole meaning. Jesus loves me. So it shows how syntax can make the arrangement of words to have a different meaning. The fourth one I would like to talk about is semantics. Semantic is the meaning and the interpretation of words, signs, and sentence structure. And that means being able to interpret the whole sentence. It holds a whole lot value than being able to interpret individual word meaning. So being able to interpret the entire sentence and not just one individual word meaning. And the last one I would like to speak about is pragmatics. Pragmatics is the study of how we understand and use social aspects of language. It talks about how the body language, the gestures, the facial expressions, and it just clearly means knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. So those are the five language components that I would like to discuss, known as linguistics. And it's important that teachers understand that knowing these five components can help identify communication disorders that could hinder language and literacy development for students that are struggling in the area. And there are some things that teachers can do to help identify, to be able to help with language development, to support language development for kids that have disabilities or exceptionalities. They could embrace the multimodal communication, meaning that they can allow the students to communicate with pictures and not just words, because sometimes it will allow them to help to express their thoughts more so if they're not very articulate with words. Another thing that they could do with language development is they could speak simple and clearly to children when they're speaking with them. They could go slow, not necessarily at a fast pace, and they could give one-step command opposed to two-step commands for students that have difficulties, exceptionalities, or disabilities. So that would mean like, tell John, will you go and take your tray to the trash can? That's a one-step action command, opposed to John, take your tray to the trash can and go wash your hand. So that helps with language development. And another thing that they could do is encourage the use of visual aids within the classroom. So those visual aids will be able to help the student identify exactly what's going on and be able to grasp what's going on in the classroom and be able to follow along. Okay, when we say, what's the thing for literacy development? With literacy development, one of the things that teachers could do is they could allow the students to be assisted with technology, because sometimes that technology could have like educational apps that will allow the student to get literacy skills and be interactive, as well as being interactive on the learning app. And another thing that they could do is create a language-rich environment, meaning to allow them to read books, as many books as they want to, and be able to have educational materials available for them as well. So I hope that this webinar has been helpful, because it is so important that as educators that we know all that we need to do when it comes to being able to ensure that the students are learning how to communicate effectively, and also learning how to read and write. So I thank you for your time. Bye.